welcome our new participants. Master Zaha, thank you very much for being with us today. Master Zaha comes from a long, successful path with Taekwondo. She's the Grand Master across several years and one of the highest ranked females in the world of Taekwondo. She is a certified referee and a holder of 7th Dan black belt. We also have Ms. Haidar. She's a Taekwondo world champion and a member of the World Taekwondo Federation Women's Committee. Ladies, thank you very much for joining us today. Certainly the right speakers for the wonderful topic of women in sports and what challenges are facing women in general, especially Arab women in the world of sports. What are the approaches that we can take on the sports environment to be improved, and how women can be active leaders in making that happen? Let's start with Dana and your views on that. Please.
Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here and to hear all the speakers or all the pioneer in the sport field. And yeah, it's my pleasure and looking forward for the presentation. I don't know if we can share the slides now or you want to, we can.
So.
Right, okay.
There you go.
So yeah, the session name is about women and sport, but I took another part of it, which is women leadership and gender equality.
Mm-hmm.
It's the main topic nowadays, and I would like to have some points on it, some interesting points on it. So why we start women leadership before gender equality? Simply because we can see almost most of the sports have approximate number of athletes in both genders. Yet, when it comes to the international federations and the NOCs, we barely see few number of women in their executive committees and board of members, which is the decision-making position. Now, women, where are the women in sports leadership now? Female representation within the Olympic movement is still few and low. Only 13 out of 206 presidents of the national Olympic committees are females, and that's scary. And you can standardize on that for the executive boards and members. The IOC established the Gender Equity Review project. The headline objective is to have equal representation of women and men on its executive boards and in the composition of its vice president by 2024. To increase opportunities for women to influence the sports from positions of genuine leadership. We realized the limited amount of attention to creating a sustainable female leadership talent. Now, some studies have found out 3 main reasons for the lack of participant in women leadership, according to institution and international federation. I'll be saying the problems and how we can solve it. Institutional practices. All the international federations and NOCs should reinforce women leadership, encourage it, supported by awareness and training courses for youth. And to adopt this agenda until we can achieve gender equality in the managerial level. Inherent biases. We can eliminate and change the image of underrating the woman leadership when it comes to the sport field. How? By giving them the opportunity, by spreading awareness practically, such as this forum, giving a session about women and sport to increase the importance of this agenda and topic worldwide. Intersectionality, we can say we are not the same. We have differences in religious, color, continent, etc. And we have, and this is normal. We should not stand behind the female ability and how qualified is she in the workplace. Now, coming to the next slide. Now, another important topic to be mentioned regarding gender equality is the gender pay gap in sports.
Mm-hmm.
We need to understand how it goes and then try to reduce it. In sport, athletes play under their countries or as professionals under professional clubs or both. Now, media plays the main role in this subject. The more revenue they get, the more audience attend and the more tickets were sold, even the more sponsor there is, the higher the salary of the athletes, regardless, female or male. Now, we see that happened. For example, Serena Williams was paid 29.2 million, while Cristiano Ronaldo was paid 109 million per year. So how to reduce this gap? First of all, we have to put rules and regulation that support gender equality in all levels. Second, to promote the female sports and athletes on media and sport channels. Third, spreading awareness about the importance of this agenda until we see this gap is reduced. So many policies and regulations can be implemented to reduce this phenomenon. Now, policies and regulations. The policies, as we may know, are the formal statements produced and supported by senior management. The IOC, as I mentioned before as well, the IOC have released its Gender Equality Project, review project since 2018 to support the Olympic movement toward it. The review project includes 25 recommendations under 5 key themes that develop an effective recruitment and retention strategy, focus on diverse talent, promote flexible working practices for women, involve men in the goal of achieving gender equality. Moreover, the ASOWIF, which is the Association of Summer Olympic Federation, develop women-led sport programs for women leaders in sports and international federations to support, educate, and make them part of the solution by creating competences leaders. And it is my pleasure to attend the coming course as one of the presenters of the World Taekwondo. Now, gender equality has been spotted in the UN Sustainable Development Goals as well. It is one of the 17th SDGs. Those regulations and policies come from top to bottom. Now we need to keep spreading the awareness until we see the change comes from bottom to top as well, by the right practices that we should see in action in the sport field and the sport team managers. Building pathways to leadership. In addition to increase female representation within its own decision-making position, the IOC has also initiated leadership forums and training programs and other international federations as well for the other international federations and NOCs. Why? To help prepare those in middle and senior management position to stand for the election to leadership position. For example, as we can see, Manal Mutawakkil proved that after being the first woman from an Arab country to win an Olympic medal in 1984 Los Angeles Olympic Games, Nawal was chosen to be a member of the International Olympic Committee and many other national and international leadership positions. The IOC continues to set an example for their sporting bodies by increasing the number of women in its own decision-making position. Female representation on IOC commissions has now raised to 49.7%. In addition, in January 2019, 33% of IOC members are women, and that's a huge improvement. Now, I would love to wrap up my presentation with 3 advices for all women, including myself, of course. First one, always remember to lead by example. Second, never underestimate yourself and your abilities, and always ask for your rights. You should see yourself worthy because people see you through you. Third one, we all know we have priorities, and having families and kids is one of them. But don't give up on your career and self-development because of the fact that you might have kids one day when you're not even married yet. What I'm trying to say, never give up until it's your last choice. Thank you. If
Thank you very much,
any question,
really appreciate what you presented. This is a great view of how the international stage organizations and associations are being more inclusive, being more aware and present. But I believe as well, many leaders from the Women Olympic and Athletic Society bring in many examples and experiences. Grandmaster Zaha, what would you share with us from your experience to where you are right now and the path that led you to being as successful and an icon in this sport?
First of all, I would like to thank you for this opportunity. People may not know I came from Arab world, and Grandmaster Samer, he was my mentor. So when I started with him. So we faced a lot of challenges. So today I'm going to talk about these challenges as an Arab word for the women, especially for the women. So I would like to share the slide I did. So share. Okay. Are we good? So let's start first about the benefits of sport to women, specialized for women, not in general. I'm going to talk about for women. First of all, it's a self-defense. Sports like martial arts, I came from a martial arts background, so it gives you a self-defense, especially for the women. The principle taught in any kind of sport promote peace, tranquility, and unity. As Dana mentioned, sports build and encourage leadership for women behavior. So through building your self-confidence, emotional and mental strength, it helps the woman to stand up. It's a relaxing and fun, and it's a great effective stress reliever, such as for boxing, running, any type of sport is a stress relief. So now we will go to the challenges facing women in sports. Mostly, I've been through most of those points as in my experience or in my path. So the lack of opportunities, struggle for gender equality, especially back in the Arab world. You can see in many teams, they send 6 males and 2 female in the national team. So it was more for the gender equality to work on that area. Politics depends on the politics as a country or politics during the federation, inside the federation. There's two different ways, do different politics the country, sometimes between other countries, as you mentioned before, Mr. Banks, about the US and the Russia thing. So it went for the politics as country. And for federation, the loop in the federation itself. Religion, I think this is the most important thing that facing in the Arab world, because the religion, it's different, especially some kind of sports, they require a uniform type of uniform that doesn't comply with the sport itself. So this is hard working on that side, especially in the Mr. Banks, I think you're facing this, especially in the Saudi Arabia, I think. the cultural pressure, the family support. As for me, I have the family support, but most of our back home for the Arab, they don't have the family support because there is a lack of awareness for the female side. And the girls that they drop out of sport participation early. They don't have the motivation, they don't have the continuous for the sport. Pregnancy, lack of opportunity facilities. The facilities is not, let's say, for the females and the males. Lack of focus, disencouragement, body shaming, and media influence. The media influence, we can see that about 2 years from now, the media is really important and it's affecting everyone. So the media should be positive more and more encouraging for the women's side. Now we're going to talk about supporting Arab women's. Now, there's something called the Arab Women Organization. So they have to revitalize the role of the Arab Women Organization in sports issue. How that can be done? Through organizing more seminars, workshops, and to target the young generation through schools, parents, universities. Eliminating bad experiences, tackling and removing bad experiences as they appear to maintain inspiration and comment. And how to train the trainer, like how to train the coaches, how to deal with women, because women are like different than male, biological and physiological. There's a difference between both genders. So we have to train the trainers how to deal with women. Prevention oriented, predict and avoid issues before they become a problem to solve. Optimize strength, utilize individual mental and physical strength to boost improvement. Build the commitment. Commitment ensure long-term improvement and development of the women in sport. Authentic training, being transparent about facts and feedback and provide authentic responses. Addresses weaknesses, early resolution of weakness points would benefit women to develop. So I'm gonna leave it to you, Mr. Banks, I was like curious about your experience in the Saudi Arabia development sport, women's sport. So I would like to hear from you as well about your experience there.
I'll have to confess that it is, right now, it is not something that I can talk a lot about. And I am only helping to consult. I am not the main
decision maker.
Yeah, decision maker. So, and I am under an NDA, so I really can't speak much about it. I'm
okay.
sorry.
Understood.
Okay.
But let me ask you this, Zaha. You've experienced sport in the Arab world before. Yes. You immigrated to Canada, and you've experienced it here, practiced it as an athlete and as a coach. Can you give us a glimpse of comparison here between what you've experienced here and there?
Well, when I started there as a player. I did not coach, first of all. I was a player with the national team. It was a little bit like politics, especially when you participate in like international championships. So it was more like the gender equality. So boys are more to take care of than the girls. So I faced this problem. And what else? And the facility providing, it was like more for the male than the female.
Mm-hmm.
The culture itself, it's different than the Canadian experience. This is the problem. There should be like awareness in the culture, in the mentality of the people there.
I see.
Here in Canada, it was like easier because like more rules, more regulation, they care about like the gender equality more in Canada. It was easier for me to adapt and to shine here more.
Thank you for sharing that with us. In fact, I would like to get back to Dana with her views, where I see she's focused on the organizational aspect of engaging women in becoming leaders. And leadership comes through a lot of experience. It is not given, it's really earned. What do you think women in sport generally around the world should focus on immediately in order to advance that leadership position and get to it?
Right. You said leadership is not given, but leadership can be learned, can be adopted. So I think it has many views. We should try to improve it in all levels, not only for women itself. We should support them through the federations, through the society, through any issue they might face it, in order to improve it and keep going with it. I think mainly now that the agenda of gender equality is having a big attention nowadays. So with the international federations and other organizations, regulations and policies, and I think that the policies are the most important thing. Because when there is rules and regulations, everyone will follow it and will try to keep up with it. Even the international federations, when the IOC put the gender equality review project, all the international federations tried to improve that in their governance, governance board and executive committees. In order to meet that goal. And to be honest, I feel like also the female should work on themselves. We can't always blame the society on it. That's why in the last slide, I put some advices, because it should come from the female. It should come from us to want to make a change. And we make change by ourselves. We lead by example. I literally meant it. When Zaha, when myself, when other women lead by example, we inspire other females. Okay. So yeah, that's it.
Also, one thing, I believe that there should be more like coordination with the Ministry of Education and the Olympic Committee, for like more education about the curriculum of the women's sport. So that's a good idea as well.
I have a question, Khaled and Dana. I met Dana recently in Korea, like a year ago, when we were in the World Taekwondo Federation and on the Cookie One. And I saw that how you are really working hard on yourself. You did the master's in sports. You are working very hard in your studies, and you took the line of women and sport development. And I like that very much. Now you are a part of the World Taekwondo Association in the Committee of Women Development. So how you see yourself in like 2 years' time or 3 years' time, how you will make a change with the now you are inside, you can influence in decision making. You can change the perception about women in sport, especially in Taekwondo, as you are now in this role.
Sure. Thank you, Coach Samer. First of all, let me talk about from my experience. I'm in the development committee of the World Taekwondo. I initiated to do my thesis about women and sport leadership in the Taekwondo, within the Taekwondo federations. So from there, we started initiating and working on the women and gender equity, we call it in Taekwondo, equity and women leadership. So from there, we started with the first forum, and then the second forum, we finished it before a few days. And now we're increasing our ideas, we're having another ideas. I believe, as I told you, I was in the development committee. Now I focus more on the women and gender equality, because I felt like it's a passion. What is next? I think there will be big things that happen through the World Taekwondo, and I promise from here, from this platform, the good thing that we have harmonized teamwork. We're having from different countries and nations, everyone putting their input. We're working as a team with the World Taekwondo. Some of the ideas are, we put it on the table. I can't speak about it because it's not really approved until now, but I can tell you we're gonna make change, and if it starts from one person, it will affect others. So from there, that might help others to be motivated, maybe, or inspired by this cause or subject. Where I see myself after 3 years, I'm passionate about sport. I'm passionate about gender equality. I have optimistic thoughts, and I think I'll be moving forward, hopefully. Yeah.
And we all wish you all the success in the world to help you with that, as well as our support for you to achieve those goals. We have come to the end of this session, a great session, great opinions, great views and experiences that you've shared with us. Dana, thank you so much for the time you dedicated to us today.
Thank you.
Master Zaha, thank you so much for the experiences you've shared with us, and we wish you all the best. You have a wonderful day.
I would like to thank all the speakers. I'm learning from everyone. Thanks all, and I'll continue listening to the forum. Thank you.
Thank you, of course. Our pleasure. Thank you.